And we're going to begin this PIX Now update with the breaking news we've been following this afternoon. There has been a shooting at the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno with multiple injuries. KPIX 5's Andria Borba live at the scene. Andria, what can you tell us?
Well, Alan, the shooting calls came into San Bruno PD at 12:44 this afternoon from the outdoor cafeteria area here at the YouTube campus in San Bruno. At 12:48, San Bruno PD showed up here, and they say that when they got to YouTube on Cherry Avenue in San Bruno, they found one victim in front of the campus. They later found a second person with a self-inflicted gunshot wound, a woman. They believe that to be the shooter. That person is dead. And then two other shooting victims were also found on campus. The 1,700 employees have been evacuated from the campus, but before they could be evacuated out of here, they had to be patted down, and they're being walked out in groups by employees of the San Bruno Police Department as well as Daly City. We've seen the CHP here. As I was headed down here, we saw Department of Homeland Security going lights and sirens down 101. This is what we heard from San Bruno Police Chief Ed Barberini.
At 12:46 p.m. this afternoon, San Bruno Police Department received numerous 911 calls regarding gunshots at the YouTube campus located on Cherry Avenue in our city. San Bruno Police arrived on scene at 12:48 and immediately began a search for a possible shooter or suspect. Upon arrival, officers encountered numerous employees fleeing from the building. It was very chaotic, as you can imagine. We did encounter one victim with an apparent gunshot wound towards the front of the business as we arrived. Several minutes later, while conducting a search of the premises, officers located a second individual with a gunshot wound that appears to may have been self-inflicted. We are still working on confirming that. Two additional victims were located several minutes later at an adjacent business. The extent of all of the injuries of our victims are unknown right now. They were all transported for emergency medical care, but they are all unknown. So if I missed that, we have 4 victims who have all been transported for gunshot-related injuries, and we have one subject who's deceased inside the building with a self-inflicted wound that at this time we believe to be the shooter, but we're still following up on that. Multiple law enforcement agencies have responded to assist. We're very grateful for everyone's help and assistance. We could not have responded and accomplished this without everybody's help. This is an active event and an active investigation, and numerous law enforcement personnel from numerous different local agencies are still conducting a search of the business just to make sure that that it is clear. We conducted a quick, immediate search of the premises when the first officers arrived as pursuant to our active shooter protocol, and after that search was concluded, now we're going through with a methodical, slow search just to make sure that we cover all the bases.
And that was San Bruno Police Chief Ed Barberini. Now, agencies are still searching the YouTube campus right now to make sure it is clear. They're still searching the building, so they haven't entirely eliminated the possibility of a second shooter. But we heard from some employees who said it was absolute chaos in the moments right after and around the shooting, including one employee who said that they saw one person on the ground with a gunshot wound to the stomach.
I think it was kind of a surprise because, like, you don't really expect something like that to be happening. So I heard some, pops. I obviously thought they were balloons, and then I thought, like, well, that doesn't really make sense, not today. And then I heard, more shots, and then that's when everyone started scrambling for the door.
Were you in the cafeteria?
I was outside in the patio where I believe the shooter was.
How many pops do you think you heard?
I remember hearing an initial couple, and then maybe like a slight break of a few seconds, and then maybe like 10 or 15 more, something in that range.
And did you see any people on the ground?
Yes. After we went in and like people were going through, I went up to the first floor, and then like when I was going in, I held the door for a few people, but then when I let go of the door and I went in, I saw there were still a couple people crouched behind tables, so I went to go look to see if they were still outside, and then that's when I saw someone like in front of the doors lying on the ground.
Now, we just heard from a software engineer at Google who says he heard at least 15 gunshots out on that patio before he was able to escape, and saw people crouching underneath tables outside on that patio. Alan?